Richard Haggerty here today, and I'd like to talk to you about 4 keys to quit smoking motivation, because motivation really is the key to quitting smoking. And all the people who are smokers who I've successfully helped to transform have gone through a process of becoming a non-smoker through motivation. And there are really 4 keys that are going to help you with this, and if you understand these, both of them sequentially, it'll really help you to stop vaping, stop cannabis, stop smoking cigarettes, stop smoking e-cigarettes, and break that habit for good. Okay, so what are the 4 keys to quitting smoking? The ones we're going to talk about today are, firstly, have a strong reason. Have a strong reason for wanting to quit smoking. We'll look specifically about why that's so important. Just understand you need a deep personal reason for quitting, okay? Not because somebody else told you to do it. Secondly, once you've got a strong reason, now you're going to be activating emotion. You're going to know that the reason is strong because you're going to feel something inside. You're going to feel strong dissatisfaction, strong inspiration, a huge amount of feeling relative to the goal that you want to achieve, okay? And that will activate your subconscious mind to be able to support you to do this, okay? Rather than it just being a thought going around in your head, your body will literally get behind you. Thirdly, after you've got those 2 things in really clearly lined up, it's time to identify the triggers, okay? Once you have a strong reason and you're feeling connected to that, now we've got to notice the triggers for smoking, the times of the day, the places, the people, the things on the outside that are typically triggers for you to engage in the habit, and the kind of emotions inside that are allied with that, okay? And fourthly, once you've got those things, okay, you're in a very strong position, but at that point it's really worthwhile getting some support, okay? So those are the 4 keys to a motivation to quit smoking. Have a strong reason, okay? Once you've got that strong reason, you'll notice that your emotions will be stronger inside. You'll be connecting with your subconscious, okay, to support you to make the change. Thirdly, you'll be identifying triggers, and fourthly, you'll be getting the support that you need. So let's dive into each one of these in a bit more detail, okay? Having a strong reason to stop smoking is absolutely critical, okay? It is the difference between you falling off the wagon and staying the course right the way through, no matter what's going on. Okay, you see, years ago, I would get, 2 decades ago, when I was starting out, there were people who would phone up and say, "Oh, I've got a friend who wants to stop smoking," or a partner. And I realised very quickly that if somebody phoned up on behalf of somebody else, they never made a change. Why is that? Because you have to dig deep inside and find your own reason, your own personal reason. And that reason will be something really quite powerful, like you want to do it for your children, your grandchildren, you want to do it for your health. You want to finally do it because enough is enough. Find that strong reason, personal to you, and you're well on your way. Now, once you've got a strong reason to quit smoking, the next thing you want to do is you want to really intensify the emotion inside you, okay? That feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of determination, if you will, whether it is you're just completely fed up with the old habit, or you're motivated by the things you're going to be able to do, or both of them, which is even better, okay? You'll know that you've allied your body, what we call your subconscious, to support you with that, because you'll be feeling this intense emotion inside, okay? You'll be feeling that consistently, you'll be feeling that each day, okay? And instead of you just inside your mind saying, "Oh, I must do this," or "I should do this," it's going to be a much more full body experience, okay? So the motivation comes from the strong reason, and it's your kind of like responsibility then to pay attention and amplify that emotion. Thirdly, once you have everything in place, you want to be very, very vigilant, start to identify the triggers around smoking, Okay, so there are two types of triggers. There are internal triggers and external triggers. The internal triggers are the feelings, are the end results, the boredom, the anxiety, the worry, the all these kind of things that drive you to smoke. The external triggers are things you want to notice first of all, and they're the kind of times of day when you're triggered to smoke. First thing in the morning, after a meal, when you're talking with a partner or your spouse. The reason to identify these is that now you can start to, you've got two things at play. You've got metacognition, you've got this increased awareness of what's going on, allied with your strong reason and strong emotion, and eventually we'll link those two together so you can break the habit and stop smoking for good. Now, here's the thing. How are you going to maximize the odds of you staying a non-smoker for the rest of your life? How are you going to make sure that you only have to break through with smoking or stopping smoking once? How are you going to make sure that you only have to do this once? The secret to only making this decision once and just getting it done is to get support. You see, there's evidence out there, very strong evidence, that without any kind of support at all, your chances of staying a non-smoker are very, very low. About 3 to 6% of people actually quit completely without any help at all. Okay. Now, there are certain kinds of people who can just do it, they can quit, they can go cold turkey and do it. But having support is really going to be vital for you. So what kind of support could help you to quit smoking? Okay, now there are books, there are courses, there are all kinds of things. I want to mention a couple to you specifically. One we've talked about now. Go through this process. Get your strong reason, feel the emotion, write it down, write down your reason, write down what it's going to do for you as a result of going through this process, okay? And write down your triggers during the day when you're doing it, okay? Because that self-awareness alone, combined with that reason, will start to move you in that direction. But beyond that, aside from all of that, having some support is really that's really the role that I play and others play, okay? Which is to help you to be able to bring all this together so that you change at the unconscious level, so that the change becomes automatic, so you never have to think about it again. So that you can change, you can stop smoking, you can quit smoking for good. Now, let me tell you a little story. When working with the unconscious mind, as I've been doing for a very, very long time, it's possible to get to the point where you literally make a change and you even forget that you had the problem in the first place. You literally forget to do it. You just get on with your life and get going with it. In fact, there was a really funny story. Working with a client and hadn't heard for a while, and I bumped into them. I said, "How are you doing? How's it going with your habit?" And they were like, "Well, what do you mean?" And eventually, a couple of days later, they sent me a message saying, "Sorry, I just had completely forgotten about that old habit, and I just literally don't even think about it anymore." Trust me, it is possible to get to that point when you work with somebody, when you find somebody who specializes in dealing with the subconscious mind and working with the subconscious, so that we can help you to make the old behaviors as completely irrelevant. Now, just bear in mind that if you don't do anything, if you just leave things as they are, if you don't do anything at all, if you don't come up with a strong reason, if you don't start to feel that in your body, if you don't start to identify when this is happening so that you can meet those needs in other ways, and if you don't get some support, statistically you're going to be in a very, very likely sort of position that things are just going to carry on as they are, with you spending money, the decline in any health, your breathing suffering, all these kind of things, a sense of regret, a sense of guilt, all those things. All right. So just leaving it as is not really what you want to do. Make sure that whatever you do, you start to really take this seriously, because the benefits to you, to your confidence, how much energy you'll get, how just your sense of well-being and how good you feel will soar beyond anything you can imagine when you quit smoking now.